A paper family photo album from 1998 will survive for centuries in a dark closet, but the cheap black USB drive sitting in your desk drawer is already quietly deleting its own files in the dark. My name is Frank, and today we are looking at the fatal design flaw built directly into the silicon of every solid-state drive, flash card, and USB stick on Earth. We are breaking down the microscopic physical decay that gives your digital memories a strict expiration date. If you are ready to look at the brutal physics of flash memory, hit that subscribe button and let's get into it. The public expects solid-state drives, or SSDs, to be permanent, indestructible vaults. Because they have no spinning magnetic platters or mechanical heads like old-school hard drives, we assume they can last forever. But the truth is, SSDs are not vaults. They are microscopic, fragile prisons. Inside the silicon chips of an SSD are billions of microscopic transistors called floating gates. To store a digital 1 or 0, the drive doesn't physically write anything down. Instead, it traps a specific number of tiny electrons inside these gates. Each gate is surrounded by a microscopic wall of silicon oxide insulator, designed to keep those electrons trapped forever. But on a quantum level, forever is a very short time. To save a file, the controller chip in your SSD has to force electrons through that insulating silicon oxide wall. It does this by blasting the gate with a high-voltage electrical spike, physically tearing the electrons through the barrier in a process called Fowler-Nordheim tunneling. When you delete or modify that file, the controller blasts it with opposite voltage to drag the electrons back out. This electrical brute force is physically violent on a microscopic scale. Every single write and erase cycle physically degrades the atomic structure of the insulating silicon oxide wall. Over time, the high voltage punches microscopic holes in the barrier, wearing it down until it resembles a leaking colander. Once that wall fails, the electrons escape. The gate can no longer hold its charge, and your file disintegrates into raw, unreadable corruption.
But physical use is only half the problem. The most terrifying part of flash storage is what happens when you do absolutely nothing. If you put a physical book or a paper document on a shelf, it will remain unchanged for decades. If you put an unplugged USB drive or an external SSD in a drawer and leave it there, the trapped electrons inside will passively tunnel through the insulating walls on their own. This is known as charge leakage or data rot. Within a few years, or sometimes even a few months in warm environments, enough electrons will have drifted out of their microscopic cells that the drive completely forgets your data. Your backup is not a vault, it is a leaking battery that is slowly draining its memory into the empty air. You can analyze global technology, hardware engineering, and corporate monopolies all day, but if you do not even know where your own monthly paycheck is going, you are running a failing system. Before you can build assets, you must stop the invisible leaks in your personal cash flow. Here is how Jamal and Chris solved this using Xpence.
Living this slow life, but the money stay life. Pouring out the mud, watch the time fly by. I've been on the grind 24, no sleep. Keep 100 round drawn for the ops in the street. Yeah, we came from the trenches, now we strictly in the hills. Only time I'm feeling normal when I'm popping on these pills. Ain't no falling back, nah, I gotta get the bag. Put a 50 in the safe, put 100 in the stash. Straight out the mud, I had to go get it. I wanted a ticket, I stayed independent. Jumping the demon, I'm pushing the limit. Look at my neck, it took water to whip it. I'm with the slugs and we stand on the business. Too many rats, it's gonna take me a minute. Switch up the flow, had to give me some motion. Sipping on purr like I'm drinking a potion. Yeah, I cut off the face, they was doing the most. Now I'm in the phantom, I look like a ghost. Young, rich, nurture, I'm making a toast. Ain't doing no talking, doing it. Living this slow life, but the money stay high. Pouring up the mud, watch the time fly by. I've been on the grind 24, no sleep. Keep 100 round drum for the house and the street. Yeah, we came from the trenches, now we strictly in the hills. Only time I'm feeling normal when I'm popping on these pills. Ain't no falling back, nah, I gotta get the bag. Put a 50 in the safe, put 100 in the stash. Yeah. Sipping codeine, now to hurry up. I don't trust a soul, keep the glizzy tucked. If it ain't about the paper, I don't give a fuck. Bought a brand new AP, it's flooded with ice. They didn't believe me, I had to pay the price. Rolling up excited, smoking about a pound. Every time I drop, yeah, I shut down the town. We're really outside, ain't no capping on the net. Put a bounty on his head, put a price on the neck. Living this slow life, but the money stay high. Pouring up the mud, watch the time fly by. I've been on the grind 24,
Son
no
of a
sleep.
God-forsaken. Chris, kill the music, kill it right now.
Bluetooth disconnected.
The hell is wrong with you, dog? You look cooked. 19 grand on one night? How? How much did you drop last night? I only dropped 7 grand, bro. Kept it right in the budget. 7? You spent 7? Bruh, you bought more drinks than me. You had more girls around you all night.
So funny.
You sat in that racing sim for 2 hours. You even covered Dre's table fee. How are you at 7 and I'm at 19? Because I knew exactly how much I was spending the whole time. What do you mean you knew? Expense. I set a budget before we even left the house. The app tracked every transaction as it happened, no manual login, no guessing at the end of the night. Every time I got close to my limit, it flagged me, so I adjusted. You just kept going. It even has a built-in AI coach called Mochi that studies your spending and tells you where your money is going and how to be smarter about it. Bruh, this is elite. Why am I just finding out about this now? You want to know the best part? It works without your bank. No account linking, no personal details, nothing. You stay in full control of your own data. And it's free. Say less, fam. Send me the link right now. Done. Pre-register on the Play Store right now. They're giving early users premium features and an exclusive Founders Badge that's not going to be up forever. Scan the code or hit the link in the description.
Because flash memory is fundamentally designed to self-destruct, hardware manufacturers have had to build incredibly complex software layers to hide this decay from you. This is why your operating system uses a command called trim. When you delete a file, the controller doesn't just erase it, it actively shifts data around, trying to spread the electrical wear evenly across the billions of microscopic gates in a process called wear leveling. In fact, when you buy a 1 terabyte SSD, the manufacturer actually builds in an extra 50 to 100 gigabytes of completely hidden space. This is called over-provisioning. The drive's internal controller acts as a silent emergency crew, quietly routing your data away from dead, worn-out gates and swapping them with fresh, hidden ones behind your back. It is a constant, desperate shell game played at 1 million operations per second, designed to make a dying piece of silicon look perfectly stable. Ultimately, our entire digital civilization is built on a foundation of decaying sand. The solid-state drives we rely on to store our photos, our finances, and our history are not monuments. They are highly controlled temporary storage tanks constantly fighting a losing battle against quantum physics. The next time you save an important document, remember that you are not writing it in stone. You are simply trapping a cloud of restless electrons inside a deteriorating silicon cage. If this video helped you see the technology in your hands differently, hit that like button and subscribe to Big Frank Fix. We build builders here, not background characters.